Jackson Radio Show.
We see the NASDAQ up quarter after quarter as well. The S&P 500, a record there. And the markets overall, when you look at the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P, you can see wins across the board. The NASDAQ has fared the best of the bunch.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. We'll get back to some of these other topics, but I do want to talk about the economy a little bit. I want to talk about jobs. Gold is up. The stock market is up. Your portfolio, if you have one, is rising, and it's been rising steadily. And I'm talking about significantly since the election of Donald Trump. Economic indicators, outlook, everything aggressive. A bull market in many ways. Now, they keep talking about corrections and things like this. And look, stuff has to occur. But let me tell you, right now, you have to, the way the economy has been managed, you don't feel like you're on the precipice, do you? I don't. I feel rather optimistic. They have this thing called an optimism index, and Americans are extremely optimistic about what's going on. They actually believe jobs are going to be coming back to the United States. And oh, by the way, they are. I looked to see if they had released the economic report. The month before, we did 222,000 jobs. The month after that, we did 156,000, and they said, "Oh, it's bad news." That's a good month. That was a stellar month for Barack Obama. I'm predicting it'll be higher than 156. In fact, I believe more than 200,000 jobs have been created for the month of September that should have been reported on October the 1st. I couldn't find anything on it. So I'm curious as to where we end up. But here's what really bugs me, and I alluded to it in the previous segment, which, by the way, if you want to listen to the show at any time, folks, kjradio.com. But here's what bugs me about this. What bugs me is that we should be talking about this economy. We should be talking about the forward-looking statements of the United States government as Donald Trump sees it, as he puts things back into the private sector and essentially incentivizes businesses to now get back on board because we're going to have an economy that can support it. I'm anxious to see when we get back to those discussions. Let me tell you why the left is talking about NFL taking a knee. They're talking about Puerto Rico is being, Donald Trump's ignoring Puerto Rico when they know that's not the case. And I could go on. The reason for all of this, folks, is because the left in no way wants you to start looking at the real indicators and what's going on in this country. Now, here's the good news. There's no way they're going to keep the cat in the bag. Eventually, you and many others are going to start not only learning about it, you're going to be talking about it because you're going to be experiencing it. It's already happening. Now, what do we have to do? People ask me this all the time. We have to start focusing our efforts into showcasing, number one, what's being done. It's one thing that we understand it. Think of it this way. You're talking about the NFL taking a knee. If that is what we go into the election with, it isn't going to crush us, but it isn't what we want to go into the election with. What we want to go into 2018 with is people saying taking a knee was the wrong thing to do. And oh, by the way, all these black guys that took that knee, you are now going to get regular jobs. But guess what? Your compadres, all these unemployed young black men are going to be involved in something. Do you want to involve them in something? This is our time. You have to reach out. We've got to, as a community, teapartycommunity.com, shameless plug, we've got to reach out and start giving these guys something to do, getting them in a trade, getting them into tutelage, getting them looking at how businesses run and doing it the right way. Their influences can no longer be drug dealers on the street. It's got to be people that they watch do something positively. God, I so want to do this type of a thing. I want to do this in every city. And I'm not talking about, oh, Kevin, you just want to help black kids. Look, it's not about color. It's about, I want to help the people who need the most help right now. Young black men need role models. And contrary to what people tell you, those role models do not have to be other black men. Is it good if they are? Absolutely. Let me tell you something. There are many black men all over this country who would love to be a part of some sort of a tutoring or mentoring program that gets these kids off the street and does some very cool things with them. Now, ironically, the numbers are still going to help. You don't need these programs for things, because what I mean by that is the ocean rises, but it'll slowly rise for the others, for blacks and some other minority groups. And we can help affect that rise better. We can make it happen a lot faster if the private sector gets involved. But let's just look at some of the numbers, okay? Unemployment, easy figure. Easy, we're talking about 4.3% unemployment, 16-year low. So, and that's going to drop. And even if it stays there, because technically that's like full employment. But if it stays there, in other words, more people start to look and more jobs become available, Trump still comes out looking like a superstar. 16-year low, no argument. Housing prices are up. Average home price, $220,000 under Obama, $268,000 under Trump. Huge differential in Trump's favor. So we have that. Loans are up, both personal and businesses. People are borrowing more. Now you say, well, now wait a minute. That's not good. Yeah, it is good. Because what we had was a relative freeze. We had the government effectively trying to incentivize people to borrow by keeping the interest rates super low. And they still couldn't do it. With Trump, people said, okay, now I can be optimistic. They're borrowing more money on a personal level and business level, which means they're investing in something. Their businesses are saying, we see something that's happening in the marketplace. It says we need to start staffing up and getting ready. So they're spending money. Now, the people, we're not spending money in retail. Retail was down 0.2% under Trump. And I'm not going to blame, say, well, that's a fallout of Obama. It is, but who cares? Retail is suffering in the sense that people aren't buying as much in clothes and shoes and stuff like that. But as I said, they're borrowing more money and they're spending it on capital. So you're seeing a lot of money in cars and homes. So that tells you that the sector that understands that you're not going to get rich trying to buy clothes is ready to put things into effect, and quite frankly, probably are investing in small businesses and things like that. The trade deficit fell. Yeah, $46.3 billion, lowest it's been so it fell from the last 3 months, lowest it's been since the election. So Donald Trump's trade policy is kicking in. Now that number you're going to watch, it's going to fall and fall and fall substantially over the next couple of years. And finally, the biggest thing, no surprise, stock market, 18,250 to over 22,000. Record. Not even a year into this presidency. Remember, the left told you if Donald Trump gets elected, the stock market was going to crash. Our economy would crash. Can you believe anything that they say now, knowing the information you know?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.